We live in a world of change, and the Buddha taught that everything arises in dependence on conditions. Things are always changing, and that means sometimes we get what we want, and sometimes things don't work out how we'd like them. So right now we're filming this, and it started raining on the camera, and then the sun came out, and we're dealing with change all the time, which in a sense is obvious. We all know that, but sometimes it's surprising how we forget it and how we just get blown around by everyday little things that are going on, just kind of little instances of praise and blame or gain and loss and so on. So the Buddha's teaching, The Worldly Winds, is all about that, learning to recognise those situations and sail them more effectively. Well, one of the examples I use in my book is a little story of me driving home late at night, and I started to notice that when I was driving, getting to a nearby street, I'd start to anticipate in my mind whether there was going to be a parking space outside my house. And I'd get surprisingly kind of wound up thinking about it, driving down the road, anticipating what was going to happen. And if there was a parking space, I'd be surprisingly elated. And if there wasn't, I'd definitely be a bit irritable, and I'd start inventing stories in my mind, particularly about the next door neighbours, because they had 3 cars. Once I started to recognise that in terms of the worldly winds, in this case the worldly winds of gain and loss, it just changed my relationship to that situation. Rather than it being about me either getting what I wanted or not getting what I wanted, I could just see it as an example of change and conditions, and I could recognise that everyone else was in the same boat. And I really love it as a teaching. I find it so helpful and practical and liberating.